I got a feeling that it's gonna be a wonderful day.
It's all about good morning.
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 How you doing?
Morning.
Morning.
Morning. Morning.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, the one, the only, the hands-a-dough himself, the hot ravioli, El Presidente, Julian Nicholas. And I am here with my lovely, dearest friend, Adrian. How are you doing?
I am doing great, Julian. We are also joined by Mr. Alex and Mr. Joshua that's going into the studio right now. And we are here with Mr. Nessie.
Good morning, zebras. It's September 30th, 2022. It is a white day here at New Brunswick High School. And I just need to start off before we get into our fun Friday activities. In case you were not aware, today, September 30th, is International Podcasting Day.
Really? That's
Oh, yeah.
That is a thing. Because way back in like 2004, podcasting came to be, technologically speaking, in the month of September. So today is International Podcasting Day. So if you're watching us live, that's fantastic. But if you want to catch us on the replay, on the flippity flop, hit us up on Spotify, where we produce this bad boy as a podcast. All right. It's Friday. You have good news for me, Julian?
I can't make that a guarantee.
Well, let's see what happens.
We'll make it sweet. We'll make it short. Now here for you is the weather report.
Buenos dias, ladies and gentlemen. We are currently at 51 degrees. But dude, well, actually, no, I can't even say that. Some would worry and some would be disappointed because we are only going to go as high as 66 degrees and it's going to be partially, if not totally, cloudy all day.
Well, I'm going to look on the bright side, and you say partially cloudy. I'm going to say partly sunny.
Yeah, this is El Presidente coming at you with the weather report, baby.
Now, before we do the news,
Yes.
Adrian, you checked in with us live on YouTube yesterday. You were in school. Why were you not on the show?
Yeah.
Oh, it's because I had to deal with something with a teacher. I had to help out with the teacher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Miss Evans. I had to help out with Miss Evans.
Shout out to Miss Evans. Well, thank you for your efforts, whatever it is that you did.
Funny enough, she was my elementary art teacher.
Poor woman. All right, let's do the news.
All right. Let's see announcements. The homecoming dance of 2022 starts this October 8th. It is from 6 to 10 p.m. Tickets are on sale. Tickets in advance for $7, at the doors for $10, and the senior gold card for $5. Tickets are on sale October the 4th during lunch or in C209. Also, save the dates. New Brunswick Domestic Violence Awareness Coalitions. 20 years of working together for a community without violence. This Saturday, October 1st, 2022. If you want more information, please contact 732-532-6202.
Speaking of saving dates, here are the dates of October where New Brunswick High School will get college visits for seniors. On the 6th of October, New Haven University. On the 11th, Rutgers University. The 12th, Keene University. 17th, Monmouth University. 18th, New Jersey Institute of Technology. 19th, I always have a problem with this one, Drexel University. And on the 28th, Georgian Court University. And again, speaking of saving dates, if I am correct, next week is Spirit Week.
Go Zebras!
Go Zebras indeed.
Hey, don't even.
Okay.
That's my show.
All right.
Thief. Anyway, on Monday, on the 30th, wait, why did I say the 30th? Monday, October 3rd, it is Character Day, so dress up as your favorite character. Tuesday is Jersey Day. Again, go get a Jersey Mike. Wednesday is Yom Kippur, meaning there is no school on Wednesday. Throwback Thursday, meaning throwback to any decade, the 90s, 60s, 80s,
70s, 60s.
Yeah, 90s, all right.
Yeah.
And finally, Friday is Class Color Day. For those who are graduating in 23, pink. for those who are graduating in 24, which is me and Adrian,
Yep.
we are supposed to wear green. The 25 kids, red, and the 26 kids, white.
White.
Yep. And I almost forgot. On the first and third Wednesday of every month with Miss Moody, it is Yoga Club, and it will be held in 204 B204. And the first meeting is the 5th of October at 245 Zebras. Namaste.
Sports.
Yep.
Good morning, Zebra sports fans. It's time for your Zebra Sports update. Last night at Memorial Stadium, it was senior night for the boys' soccer team. The boys defeated the crosstown rivals North Brunswick 4-0. Shout-outs to our goal scorers, Gregory Cruz, Hasiel Gonzalez, and with 2 goals, Joseph Juarez. Also, shout out to Coach Juba and his staff for putting together a fantastic pre-game senior ceremony that I was lucky enough to be a part of. So, shout out to the boys. In girls tennis team was defeated 4-1 by North Plainfield. And in the match, the Zebra highlight came from, let's see, second singles, Araceli Romero. She won her match 7-5 and 6-4. In girls volleyball, the girls team lost to Wardlaw Hartridge 2-0, and girls soccer was defeated by Colonia 2-0. It's a Football Friday, everybody. Come out to Memorial Stadium tonight. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. versus Edison High School. If you have your student ID, it's free. Otherwise, it's $3. See you tonight at Memorial Stadium for Zebra football. That's it for sports.
Go Zebras!
Go Zebras indeed.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that. Not you, you're good.
Probably. Thanks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest in studio with us this morning. We have the head coach of our esports program, Mr. Jamie Joshua. But he also teaches math, but we're here to talk about esports. Good morning, Mr. Joshua.
Hey, good morning, guys. It's great to be here.
How you doing?
I can't complain. So let me just give you a quick background on how this all kind of came to being, right? So first, I got to give a big shout out to Mr. Andrews. Mr. Andrews started a video game club. I mean, golly, I want to say there's only been 2 years, these last 2 years during the COVID time, that he wasn't hosting it. And in that time that he got that started, I was able to get involved and see that, like, we have this enormous population of students who play these games on a competitive level where they are driven and motivated to come out to match their skills against other students. And we noticed that, like, we noticed, like, everybody plays video games in this school. What they need is some place where they can kind of meet and channel that energy. So very shortly after that, myself and another teacher at the time, who's now like a supervisor, Mr. Latham, got together, and we started trying to figure out how to have this conversation on a larger scale for our school district, right? How to begin to say, hey, this looks like this is an opportunity for us to get students engaged, connected, and involved with each other in a different kind of competitive platform, right? And the buy-in is the fact that, like, there's really not a lot of restrictions that exist that prevents a student from being able to, let's say, play Smash Brothers or play one of the competitive fighting games, or even the shooter games like Fortnite or something like that. So, excuse me, over the next, I guess, like year and a half, conversations were initiated where we really began to kind of speak to the idea of how something like this could be put together and what it would look like. Now, shout out to Ed Camp. We had an opportunity to attend an Ed Camp that our high school hosted, and one of the guests that was invited was Chris Avias, and Chris Avias actually presented esports league. So imagine there's this idea that we're trying to have, and then within the span of 1 year, through an event that we sponsored, we invite a resource to the school that begins to really help us connect the dots. So after some conversations with Chris, after Chris's conversations with our district, after identifying, big shout out to Carla Segura and our superintendent, Aubrey Johnson, after we had an opportunity to present this idea to them, it really began to gain traction. And in the last year, we've gone from an idea to we now are officially an esports team that big shout out to our Rocket League members that competed yesterday, competed on Tuesday in their first match, where we are now competing with other schools through our wireless network remotely wherever the school is or whoever we're playing. And we're having events now. And it's pretty exciting. We got little gaming laptops and everything, you know.
Mr. Joshua, I've got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What does a typical league event look like, whether it's practice or the matches you compete in?
Okay, so like league events, and you have to understand that we are still in the infant stages, right? We are just at a point where we can host a game, right? Where our players can join another school's players to competitively to competitively compete against each other. And that, I don't know if you can say competitively compete. I'm sorry. Big shout out to English teachers. I got to do better. But it's the idea that right now we can host and we can host matches, right? We can host teams and then we can play teams, right? But it's so much bigger than that. It's this broadcasting aspect where it's an event where while it's going on, you've got young ladies and young gentlemen from our school that will give like color commentary about gameplay, about background history on the players, about winning streaks, about rivalries, how many, what is the record between the two teams. In addition, there are also like kids that are involved with social media that are tweeting like, great play, this was awesome. This is so-and-so senior year, and they're really dialed in and focused. I mean, it's, I always try to present esports in the same way that like, we see like NASCAR, where you've got people that are responsible for the machines that we use. We got people that are responsible for operating the machines. We got people that are responsible for giving direction and suggestion to the people who are operating the machines. We got people who are responsible for relaying highlights and events that are taking place live while the competition is going on. And then on the back end, you've got people who are just constantly keeping the social network, right? Our followers, people who are interested in getting involved, people who are interested in supporting our players, our coaches, or the event itself. We have people who are just responsible for kind of getting that information out. So it's really very multifaceted. One of the things that we kind of war against is this idea that it's just playing video games, when this idea is so much bigger than that.
Well, Mr. Joshua, I have a question for you. Do you motivate your players to do better in competition?
Oh, we motivate our players to do better in all aspects, not only just competitions, but camaraderie, being good players, being good students. We are holding ourselves to the same standards that the school would hold any ambassador that we would have that would represent our school, right? So we have a code of conduct. We got how they're going to engage online with other teams, how they're going to behave inside and outside the classroom, as well as their academic responsibilities.
Okay.
I actually got a question.
Mm-hmm.
What games do you guys typically play?
Okay, so this season we are competitively in a championship league for Rocket League. But throughout this first season, there are other games that we'd like to begin to give like call outs to. So, hey, if you play Super Smash Brothers in the next like 2 weeks, we're calling you out. We're going to run 3v3 on Thursdays just to begin to kind of build that population, because this time next year, that is another competitive game. But every season, much like we go from the winter to from the fall to the winter to the spring, every season there's going to be uh, a host, probably about 3 or 4 games. So right now it's Rocket League, it's League of Legends, it's they've got like a Super Smash Brothers Contender League. Next season it'll be like Valorant, it'll be Apex Legends, and then I think it may still be Rocket League. Like you can still do Rocket League competitive, but like this season we've got Knockout City, and that's like a newly added game that like they've only had in the league for 1 year now. So there's just a lot, man. Like it's our first year, so we're still kind of learning, and the league is just now kind of like we're getting regular communications and updates, but they are constantly adding schools, they are constantly adding games, they are constantly adding leagues to the league, right? So that it continues to expand and become more and more inviting to more and more students.
Now, Mr. Joshua, I have a question for you. So, let's say a student joins your club but doesn't really go to your meetings. Is he still part of the club?
A student can join our club. We encourage students to come to the meetings because we encourage students to find where in our esports platform they're going to be most comfortable, right? We have kids that come that like to watch kids play, right? And what we're trying to do is we're trying to say, hey, there's a place for you for that, right? There are participants who are watching watching the gameplay, right? And like I said, they are taking notes and commenting on how it's played, like whether our teams are communicating well, whether we need to focus more on defense, or whether we need to hold a particular position. They're also like our future coaches. They are observing what the other team is doing, right? And what we do is after a match, we can get with those kids in their little journals, and we can unpack like, these are the things that we saw that were good. These are the things that we saw where we can get better at. This is something that we've never seen before. We got to figure out how to do that.
Okay.
So the idea to answer your question, do you have to be there? No, because some aspects of this team, you can be remote, right? You can be at home watching us stream the match and critiquing like our team, our play. You can be commenting on what's going on that you see.
Okay, so another question from me. So, I'm part of the esports club as well, and
Big shout out right
thank
there.
you. And also, I have a question. What if a person is not good at a game, right? Let's just say if a person's not good at a game, do they still get to compete in champion leagues or something like that?
Okay, so what we do is they have two setup leagues. They have a championship league, right, which is kind of like the league will say, hey, here are the 3 games that we're going to be hosting competitive matches in, right? And as a member of the league, we have to choose one of those games, whether we're good at it or not. You understand? So we will field a team, and they will participate in that. But there's also contender, and then we're fortunate in the fact that like we aren't just a flagship here at the high school. We have another esports team at P-Tech and another one at Health Science. So aside from the league that we're involved in, we can actually run our own intramural competitions just under the umbrella of New Brunswick Public Schools, and that I think is something that puts us in a unique position in this space, right? Because we can compete outside of our internal network, but we can also compete against ourselves to build rivalry and development. Now, to just kind of piggyback on what you're saying, you know, everybody starts off as a novice, and we will just continue to practice and prepare to improve. So there is no how can I put this? There's no pre-expectation. We assume that even if you play a game, you've never really played it competitive because you've never had to play within the constructs of like a team dynamic based on the opponent that we're playing, the school that we're playing, their players, right? So everything is new in that regards.
Okay. So my last and final question for you, Mr. Joshua, is, so have you considered adding any racing games like Need for Speed, anything like that?
Mario Kart.
Because like personally,
Mario Kart.
because like personally for me, I think that would be a great addition to the esports because it's more about racing, and racing is competitive.
Right. I definitely agree. And I am on the same page as you. I mean, the idea right now is that we know in phases how big we want this to be, but we also have to kind of bear in mind that like too many choices is too many jobs, right?
Yeah.
So we can't run like so what we're trying to do like this year is we're trying to have a primary shooter that we have, right? We're trying to backdoor and supplement a population of fighting games or MOBAs, right? Battle arena things, right? And then what we'd like to do is once we have these populations kind of built and set in place, then we'd like to expand to racing. Look, there's a competitive like 2K, there's a competitive like Madden. Like there are so many different entrees on the buffet, but what we have to do in our initial kind of building the structure is setting what is going to be kind of like where everything is going to go, and it's got to look the same way, even though the games are different, even though the students that are going to be involved in them will be different. What our practice, what our routine is going to be, that has to be consistent. And in this first year, and I invite everybody to come out because we are really pioneers in what we're doing right now, it's giving us an opportunity to begin to kind of build that infrastructure so that once we've got a routine of practice, a routine of competitions, a routine of league play, a routine of intramural play, then it's so much easier for our players to say, hey, Mr. J, I know you got a great geometry papers every day, but yo, this new game dropped and it seems really hot. Can we come in on a Thursday and let's roll it out and let's start seeing, because we think that this has a real place in that sports, that esports space. And the kids will make the suggestion, we'll implement it, and we'll begin to kind of.
Okay. Well, if you ever do add a racing game like Need for Speed, count me in because I pull a mean drift in that game. I pull a mean drift.
Got it.
Yo,
All
dude,
right.
you've been watching too much Fast and Furious.
Nah, I've been playing too much.
Tokyo Drift.
Fast and Furious, Adrian Drift. All right. Mr. Joshua, thank you for coming in this morning for Fun Friday and talking about
Yo, it's been a pleasure.
the esports. Real quick, before we sign off for today, when do you guys meet and how can kids get involved?
All right. So generally, we have a Google Classroom. I don't have the Google Classroom code on me. I'm sorry, but we meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays from about 2:50, 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, so that our students can get on the 4 o'clock bus. We have championship competitions every Tuesday, and then on Thursday we have practice. But now our schedule is going to gradually change. We will add on more days as we get deeper into the season because we'll need more practice and we'll need more involvement with other students in other aspects of esports.
Nice. Well, everybody, happy Friday. Come out to the football game tonight. Go hang out with Coach Joshua and Coach Alex. Join Zebra Esports. And we will see you on Monday as we start Spirit Week 2022. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Zebra Morning Show.
Do us a favor and tell someone else about us. The word of mouth is the best way to help us grow.
Be sure to follow us on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram as Zebra Podcast Net.
Please consider subscribing and following us. The Zebra Morning Show is live streamed each day, and we're available as a podcast. Go to zebrapodcastnetwork.com/subscribe.
If you want to get involved with the Zebra Podcast Network, see Mr. Nessie.
Have a great day, Zebra Nation. See you later, ladies. Bye-bye.